Hello there, welcome to Brian Lomax's Movie Talk and my review of the final episode of season 11 of the X-Files. Possibly the final episode of X-Files, period. Bit of a mixed bag, this one. It does a good job, I think, mostly, of trying to wrap up as many loose ends as possible. Whilst also kind of leaving us hanging in a few ways, but basically the story revolves once again around William and everyone's attempt to get to him, and it kind of reveals who is in whose corner, and pretty much most people are in Mulder and Scully's corner. Even Annabeth Gish's character, Monica Reyes, we've been a bit on the fence with her. We don't know whose side she's really on throughout this season. But yeah, she seems to be working for Cancer Man, but is giving information to Mulder. So now this is going to be completely filled with spoilers. I feel like I have to in order to talk about it properly. So if you don't want spoilers, I suggest you turn off now. With that in mind, let's go. She gets killed. Reyes gets killed. She gets shot in the head by Skinner, of all people. I didn't really feel anything when that happened, which is, I don't know, that's not good, is it? If a character gets killed and you don't really feel anything. Likewise, Skinner gets killed. We don't really know for sure. They clearly leave that open in case they do a movie or another series or whatever. I didn't feel there was any weight to his supposed death. We see his legs underneath the car at the end of it, but yeah, it didn't have much weight for me because I don't believe for a second that he's actually dead. I think if they come back for another season or whatever, Skinner will absolutely pop up. If Cancer Man can survive getting an explosion in his face, I'm pretty sure that Skinner can survive dodging that particular bullet. Cancer Man himself finally gets killed. Again, I revert to my earlier statement. If we see this guy get his face torched off, then nothing is ever truly certain with this guy, but for the sake of argument, in this episode, Mulder guns him down. Mulder guns down quite a few people, actually, in this episode. He's changed a lot, it must be said. He's full-on force to be reckoned with. I've said this before in my reviews for this season. He takes no crap, and he goes up against 3 military officers. And he disarms one of them, and then ends up shooting all 3 of them, killing all 3 of them. I'm not sure I buy that personally, because given the Mulder that I knew from way back when, he was so used to having his ass handed to him. Going up against one of these guys, maybe he'd get lucky. 3 of them, not so sure. But there you go. Mulder and Scully both have to deal with the loss of William as well at the end of this episode. The perceived loss. We get a bit of a stinger at the end of this where we see that he is in fact still alive. Kind of saw that one coming given how powerful he is. But yeah, they come to this acceptance that he is not in fact their son, that he was an experiment, that Scully merely just carried him. But personally, I have trouble dealing with that idea, particularly accepting the way or how fast Mulder and Scully seem to accept it. It feels like Scully has spent most of these last 2 seasons pining over William and just really, mourning the loss of motherhood. And then when Skinner tells her the truth about William, that it was in fact Cancer Man who impregnated her with this experiment, she seems to give up that idea of William being her son all too easily, I feel. And we don't get her reaction to Skinner telling her. And I feel like there's much of that in this episode. There's a lot of, it feels like there's a lot of scenes missing. This episode moves at quite a breakneck pace, very fast, quite choppy as a result of it, and I feel like it should have been a two-parter. I feel like the amount of story they try and condense into this last episode, I get why they're doing it, it's the last one, but they've only given themselves 45 minutes to cram all this stuff in, and therefore the story isn't really allowed to breathe. There are many times when another scene would have been nice, just to gauge emotions from a particular character at a particular moment. The one with Scully and Skinner being a case in point. Mulder and Scully as well at the end, when they're dealing with this loss of William and their newfound acceptance that he was never their son. It's all just done a little bit too quickly because of pacing, like, we've got 45 minutes, we've got to cram this in. I honestly think this episode would have benefited greatly by being a two-parter, and given the fact that last episode was horrible, was like the worst of the season, I honestly don't see why they didn't do it. Like, jettison that episode, that piece of crap episode we got last time, make this one a two-parter. If you're going to confine yourself to 10 episodes of the season, do that. Get rid of that episode, terrible one, make this a two-parter, flesh it out more, allow us to see a bit more of the emotional connection that is going on with all the characters. But as a result, cramming it all into one, it just felt a little bit too rushed, and I'd have liked a bit more, to be perfectly honest. It ain't bad. They're all my criticisms, but by all means, it ain't a bad episode. Again, especially coming off the back of the last one. Like I say, it's a bit too crammed. I do like that they wrap things up. I do like that they have left us in a place now where we could, and I hope this is the case, I hope this happens, we could go into movies. And I think we still could get a movie that deals with, dare I say, the alien invasion. I know we've been told now that that's not going to happen, or it may not happen, or it never was. We still don't really have clear answers on that regard, given the fact that we had all the alien bounty hunters and the cloning and all this, that and the other. That almost seems to have been brushed to one side. For whatever's going on, William does seem to be the result of that. But Cancerman's plan was never that clear cut. Yes, he was going to unleash a virus on the world. The way I understand it, it would be of alien origin, and William is the key to that. No doubt, the cure even. If you can get William's blood, you can get a cure or a vaccination or whatever, or live forever even, given again his powers. So still a lot of questions that are left unanswered in typical X-Files fashion, and I think there is room there to go into movies now. I know Gillian Anderson doesn't really want to come back for series, for seasons of television, but I think she could be coaxed when it comes to movies, and I think that's what they should do. I think they've raised enough interest now with these past two seasons, to do it, have another crack, throw us a movie and really wrap stuff up, and then every couple of years give us some standalone movies. So it does leave us in a good place to do that, I think. Another bombshell is the fact that Scully is now pregnant with Mulder's baby, genuine this time, not an experiment, presumably. And that in itself is a bit of a miracle, given that she couldn't have children. So again, a lot of questions left. It's an entertaining episode because it does move along at quite a pace. There's a lot of action in it. There's some gory stuff in it, revolving around William's powers. He literally blows people up, makes them spontaneously combust. It's quite disgusting. And as a result, between him and Mulder going around shooting everyone, they pretty much wipe out all the villains that are left in the show. So in that respect, that has been wrapped up. Whether it was in their hands as to this alien virus getting released, or whether that's in some other alien hands, I don't know. None of us do, I guess. But there you go. Without them, there's, I guess, they could leave it there and say, well, there's no chance of this alien virus being unleashed without, without these villains there to unleash it. But yeah. So that's it really. Like I say, entertaining, a lot of action. Just should have been a 2-parter. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. I was thinking 3.5 before I started talking about it on camera, but just processing it here, coming up with my thoughts, I can't quite get there. I can't quite give it 3.5. I'm going to go with a 3. It's good. It's not great. But it's satisfying enough. I'll say that. Okay. I don't think there's anything else. I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. But what about you? Have you seen this episode of The X-Files? And if so, what did you think about it? Comment below, let me know, and give me your thoughts on the future of The X-Files. What do you think they should do next? Leave it? Come back for another season? I'll go into movies. Yeah, let me know, and until next time, cracking.